Hi guys, it's your Anna girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I'm reacting to 10 things I wish I knew before coming to the UK as an American. And I'm getting this one from Embrace the Sock 21. The link will be in the description below. Please go over and show them some love. All right, we're going to get right into this. So if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to do what? Hit the thumbs up if you like this content and hit the subscribe so you don't miss out. To all my regular schmeglers, day one, studipie, studipoos, come on in right back. Put a smile on your face and enjoy. Let's get into this video because I want to hear these 10 things he wish he knew. Here we go right now.
So, if you clicked on this video, odds are good that you fit into one of two categories. One, you're a British person wondering what the heck does an American know about Britain? Or two, you're an American, a Canadian, or someone that isn't from Britain that's going there for the first time and is wondering what to expect. To answer both people in that category, I just spent 2.5 weeks in the United Kingdom this past June, and me and my best friend Daniel have been reacting to British content for about 3.5 years. So those are my credentials to bring you 10 things I wish I would have known before I got to the United Kingdom. My name is Spencer. I am 50% of Embrace the Suck 21. If you like to check out the vlogs that I made from my UK trip, you can either view them individually on this channel, or you can go to my new vlogging channel, Spencer Joyce's World. You can get there by either scanning the QR code on your screen or clicking the link down in the description. I've got a full 3-hour and 15-minute marathon of all the UK vlogs, and that's the channel that I'm going to be putting vlogs up of my upcoming USA cross-country trip and all other foreign and domestic trips going forward. Appreciate y'all's love and support on that. Into the list. Number one, the public transit system is really great in the United Kingdom. They have a good system of trains and coaches. I used mostly trains this time because they are a lot quicker in getting you from point A to point B, although they are a little more expensive. Luckily, there's an app called TrainPal that I use to get off-peak tickets and get discounts for combining a few routes. You can check that out in the description as well if you're interested in that. I'm not paid by them, but there's a lot of things that are very teachable for the United States when it comes to UK trains. For instance, if a train is canceled for whatever reason, one, at the train station, they will list out the reasons why. It could be fault of the train or staff didn't get there in time. They'll tell you what happened, as opposed to Amtrak, where it's pretty much playing Russian roulette with how late the delay will be and the reason for a cancellation. And 99 times out of 100, if a cancellation does happen, you can get on the next train that is headed to your destination. You won't be able to pick your seat, but they'll let you on. You might have to stand in one of the middle areas between cars, not like in between the cars, but like the little area before the door. That's my experience with that. As opposed to the United States with Amtrak, where there's like one, maybe two trains that go between certain destinations in a day. The one exception is probably the route from Washington, D.C. to Boston. Many of those trains run on a daily basis. I could be wrong about that, but trains are very nice in the UK. The buses and underground systems are very top-notch, whether it be the London Underground, the Manchester tram, the Glasgow subway. They're really great throughout the cities, and all the bus systems are very orderly as well. You can use your contactless phone to pay and get on and off. You don't really have to buy bus tickets. You just use your contactless card or a phone and you'll be good to go. And you really don't need to have a car. I mean, there are certain parts that I didn't go to that you probably would need a car, like exploring most of Scotland and like the northern parts of Wales. I've heard that. That's just people talking throughout the comments. That's number one. Number two, British pint.
Guys, I've heard this in a lot of videos before that when it comes on to your transportation system, yours is top notch, and UK don't fail when it come on to transportation. I gotta give you guys your hats for that. When it comes on to the US and trains, I'm like, if they are delayed, they ain't telling you why they're delayed. You be sitting there waiting like a mad bird because you don't know what's going on. It's easy to move from point A to point B. You can see why it is a tourism hub and it's easy for everyone to get around, even when you're new to the place. That is awesome. Guys, I have my experience here in the US when it comes to riding the train. And when they are delayed and when they're late, oh boy, it's a hustle. Isn't that something? Interesting. Nice.
Pints hit harder. Now, the British pint is about 20 fluid ounces compared to the United States' 16 ounces. Plus, the ales generally have a bit more alcohol in them, which means the pints just hit a lot quicker
I would
than
assume
US
that.
pints. And in addition to that, from what I've learned from UK culture, is that it's permissible for parents to give their children alcohol as young as 5 years old. So it's not a forbidden fruit, and their tolerance is high for that. Whereas in the US, because the drinking age is 21, it's seen as kind of a forbidden fruit here. That's why the combination of those two pieces of information make it so that alcohol hits us a lot differently, and usually we have less alcohol in our alcoholic beverages here in the United States. But the drinking culture is prevalent. Like, pubs are where the community gathers to catch up and debate the topics of the day. And it's
Nice.
part of the culture over there, as opposed to the United States, where we really don't have that as much. That's something I really miss about the UK. Number 3, you can eat very well.
Guys, 5 years old. Now I'm a mama of five. Do you guys allow, as parents, do you guys allow your 5 year old to drink? And I'm not talking about like tipping your finger in and rubbing it in the mouth. I'm talking about sitting, hold on, sit down and give them a glass with a little bit of beer in it. Let me know in the comment section. For those who are from the UK and are parents, let me know. Or if your parents has ever done it to you. Because I'm like, huh. But I will assume that your alcohol content is more stronger than what's here in the US. Because a lot of US people tend to drink light beer, light this, light that. It's tend to be on the lighter side. And they do start drinking at a later time. So they're not used to alcohol at all. I was introduced to alcohol early in Jamaica. So I'm not an alcohol fanatic like when I got older. I'm not over the top. So I can see the correlation in a sense when you give them it early than at a later time. That's just my opinion. Don't come for me. Let's hear number 3. You can eat very well, very cheaply in the UK. Why not? Of course.
Very cheaply. And the 3 examples I'm going to give here are meal deals from places like Tesco, Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer, a couple other stores, and they range from £3 to £5, and it comes with, a sandwich, bag of chips, crisps, and a drink. That allowed me to pinch pennies and really stretch my budget, since that was most of my meals. In addition to Greg's, for any non-Brits, Greg's, it's, to the Americans, I would describe it as a mixture of Panera's food with the aesthetic and convenience of Dunkin' Donuts. I would
Oh,
recommend the sausage roll, steak bake, with a chicken bake if that's more your thing. They even have vegan sausage rolls. I didn't try that, but I'm assuming it will be just as good. And I never spent more than £4 or £5 on breakfast. And the
nice.
last thing, and this is going to get people very opinionated, is Weatherspoons. I don't care what anybody says. Weatherspoons is amazing. For those who don't know, Weatherspoons, it's a chain of pubs around the United Kingdom and I think Ireland as well. The food and the pints are very cheap, between £3 and £5. I mean, it's like
Ooh.
microwave food. I would compare it in the States of, say, Applebee's or
Oh,
TGI Fridays. If
okay.
you're on a budget, it's a good option for you to get wasted and get some quick grub into you. Also, if you're feeling really spicy, there is this Facebook group called the Weatherspoons Game, where you can post your table number and with pub you're in, give a sob story, and people could send you stuff. Play it at your own risk. I did a video on it. It's in the Cardiff episode. Lord, it got out of hand really quickly, and I had to tell people that I left about 30 minutes in. So play it at your
Okay.
own risk. Again, very cheap option, and it allowed me to indulge in a few other things, like some Indian at Dishoom in Manchester, at
Mm,
afternoon tea in Bath, things like that. So
okay.
you can eat very good in the United Kingdom. As a little side note of that, UK food is delicious. I am very sorry that some Americans spread the nasty rumor that all British food was bad because during World War II they had to ration out. And that's what Americans were eating around that place. And they got the idea that all British food was bad and spread that around the world. For that, Britain, I apologize on behalf of all Americans. Number 4, there.
Woo, food. I love me some cheap quality food. Put it that way. Cheap, fills my tummy, and it's not breaking my pocket. I'm on board for that. And I've always heard about your food, so I don't think it tastes bad one bit from what I've seen so far, because I've seen some amazing dishes and my mouth is watering from your fish and chips to your, oh, Jesus, don't get me started. I can't wait to try the chicken masala, the Indian food. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get to UK and try this for myself. I'm getting food at a reasonable price when I'm traveling and it doesn't have to break my pocket. I'm on board for that. And if he's comparing it to TGI, Fridays, and Applebee's, and it's microwave food, it's good. Let's put it out there. So I can't wait to get there. And I'm glad he can tell this based on his experience. All right?
Is an abundance of historical stuff just walking down the street. It's
Yep.
easy to walk down any street in the United Kingdom, no matter where you are, and see like a church, a castle, or a pub that's older than all the United States. I'll give you an example. In Bolton, my buddy Adcrow took me to the Man and Seth pub. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is one of the oldest pubs in the UK. It dates back to 1251. For context,
What?
the two oldest American settlements, St. Augustine in Florida and Jamestown in Virginia, they date back to both 1565 and 1607 respectively. I could give
Wow.
multiple examples of that, but if I did, it would be a much longer video than it already is. And I'm not trying to make this super long. Number 5, the more north you go, the
Guys,
cheaper things get.
ooh, wow. When it comes onto your history, it is so rich. So I can imagine at every corner you see something historical, something to enjoy, something to see, something to be in awe about. So, man, like I said, I can't wait to get there and experience it for myself. And I'm glad that he traveled in the space of time that he was there. It wasn't long, but he experienced a lot and had fun in the process and can sit here and talk about it. I know that's right.
Friendlier people become, and the harder the accents are to understand.
Oh.
Most of the money I spent was in London and Bath on regular things in
Touristy
grocery
spots.
stores and Pints, transit in general. But then again, that's to be expected in London. A big city is a big city is a big city. I didn't really expect that in Bath just because I really hadn't done a lot of research on the area. Both felt kind of touristy to a fault. And I say that because even the quote unquote touristy things I did in more northern places were very worth it in my eyes. And I'm talking the football museum in Manchester, all the Beatles landmarks in Liverpool, Beamish in County Durham, outside Newcastle. I would say all of those are very worth it. I'd even throw the mural walk in Glasgow in there as well. It doesn't seem as much commercialized and doesn't seem like they're out to get your money, if that makes any sense. They really want to be sure you have a good time. And yeah, the accents, had I not been trained on, say, the Beatles for Scousers, Oasis for Mancunians, Sarah Millican for Geordies, and Billy Connolly for Glaswegians, I probably would have had a much harder time understanding the accents. That's just something to think about if you are not used to UK accents. I could definitely understand people in, London, Bath, Cardiff, Swansea. More north you go to the untrained American or Canadian ear, it might be a little harder to understand. Number 6, the
Man, he explored. But the further north, the more the accents get thicker, the cheaper it is. And I can understand why, because it's not as touristy. I know it's not a word, but that's my word. For those 16 days, that 2 weeks that he was there, man, he explored. So I can only imagine when you go to Liverpool and the different areas that he's been in and listen to the accent and he can understand it. Guys, I love me some accent. I don't care how it sounds or if I cannot understand it. Your accents just tickle my fancy. And you guys must know that by now by watching my videos that I love it. So I am familiar with a lot of these comedians and I listen to these accents and I'm like, oh God, it sounds so good. And he said they are also friendlier the more north you go. So I'm looking forward to that as well. It's understandable that London you'll understand more and it's gonna be more expensive in London because it is the city. So I see where he's going with that. Number 6, the weather.
Weather. I came in June 2024, and many people were saying, even apologizing for it be one of the coldest starts to the summer that they
Oh,
have seen in a very long time. Temperatures were hovering around 55 to 65 Fahrenheit, about 13 to 19 Celsius the whole time, which means I had to keep my jumper on for most of it. And luckily, that's an iconic jumper that I had on for most of it. And that's why I let my hair down, which is what I'm going to do for the second half of this. Y'all just going to have to deal with it. And what y'all said about the rain was true, although I feel like it was a little bit exaggerated because what
hmm.
I was expecting was like torrential downpours, but really it was just a couple of sprinkles every now and again. And I didn't really experience it that much. I'd say like 3, maybe 4 times throughout my 16 days there. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. Number 7,
Ah,
walkability. Everything
so that's one thing that people always complain about. You always hear it in these different videos. The rain, so much rain. You can't do nothing because it's rain. It's constantly raining. It's cold. It's rain. But he's saying, look, it's not like they say it is. I've experienced it. Yes, it was a little chilly. Yes, I had my jumper on. But guys, this is one thing I always say to people. You have to dress for the weather. If it's cold, you put on your appropriate gear. If it's nippy, you just put on a sweater. Just for the occasion. Rain doesn't stop. I don't see why people constantly complain about rain. Rain doesn't stop you from enjoying life. It does not. You put on your rain cloak, you put on some water boots or your high boots, and you go out and you enjoy. There's so much to see and do in the UK that I don't think the rain should stop you. So, and I'm happy that he's saying, listen, it's not this heavy pour of rain like people are talking about, and it's not this extreme cold that people are talking about. It is not that bad. Yes, it's a little rain here and there, but you keep it pushing. I love that. Sam, walkability.
you need: corner shops, pubs, train stations, buses, government buildings, mail, things like that, all are really within a walking distance of where you are staying. This helped me understand why so many Brits that I talk to, that when I say, oh, I drove 5 hours to see Daniel up in Washington, D.C., and they almost have a heart attack because that's such a strange concept to them. And now I get it because y'all have done a great job. And I'm pretty sure this is the same in a lot of European countries, is that you have built cities to be very walkable where you don't really need cars. If I lived in Britain,
Nice.
I probably wouldn't own a car. My perspective on it is someone who has lived in rural southern towns and suburbia for all my life. And I've never really lived in a big city where you didn't need to own a car and everything was accessible by public transit. That's just a really foreign concept to me. And it's also a really appealing concept to me at the same time. But that's for another video. Number 8, how
That's another one that I keep hearing a lot about in a few videos that I've watched. The walkability, the easy access to everything from a corner shop to a pub to the train station to a bus station. It is so easy to walk from point A to point B and you don't have to stress yourself about it. And that's amazing. It seems as if London or the UK was built that way so people can walk to get from point A to point B. That's awesome. Because here in the US, if you're in certain areas, you definitely need a car. You can't walk from point A to point B. And one thing I love about being able to walk, you get to know the place, have a feel of the place, and get to appreciate because you get to see more and enjoy more and get to meet people. That's what I think one thing when you're walking places, especially when you're in a new place and you want to get to know it, learn it, and enjoy it. You understand? So walking to me, I think the European region does a good job on that. As for the US, we always have this issue when it comes to getting you jump in your vehicle and you get to point A to point B because it's not as walkable as it is in the UK.
How tribal people in Britain can get from town to town. This is something I really didn't need explained to me after checking out a bunch of football videos and rugby videos, but for someone who has not experienced it before, it's something you definitely need to know. All I really ask is just be aware of certain colloquialisms and the history of not only the town you're in, but also their relationship to another town. Liverpool versus Manchester, for example. Even in own cities like Glasgow, check out the old firm Rangers v Celtic. I almost got my butt kicked in Cardiff for talking so highly of Swansea without knowing their bitter rugby and football rivalries. Also learned some people in the Newcastle area don't consider themselves Geordies, and many
Oh,
Liverpudlians don't consider themselves English or British. So it helps to do your research and don't have the wrong football jersey on in a pub in a certain city. Just
yeah.
don't do it. Do your research. We all have Google here. Now, this next point can contradict the last point I made. Number 9.
So, yes, that's a big one because I realized from watching a few videos that if you go to certain areas, it is best for you to know the kind of what they're into there. If okay, for instance, this district and this district don't get along because they're rivals in sport. This district and this area don't get along because they're rival in something else. So you gotta understand that whenever time you're going anywhere, see what works, see what they like, see you understand you're going into somebody's territory. Understand the territory before you go into it. I'm not even gonna try and say colloquialism. I said it because I thought I was gonna bite my tongue if I say it. That's why I was like, yeah. But I'm happy I was able to say it. I'm not gonna repeat it though. But yeah, it's always Google. Everything is on Google. Do your research before you go to somewhere to enjoy it. I just believe that. So yeah, don't put on the wrong T-shirt in the wrong ear, the wrong sporting shirt for the wrong or the team shirt for if you're going over side A, but yet still side A has nothing to do with side B. That's understandable. I'm on board with that. Number 9.
How friendly everyone is. Despite what I said in the previous bit, I found most everyone I talked to in the UK, young or old, northern or southern,
Nice.
drunk or sober, were dead easy to talk to. And it didn't matter the situation. You could be lost and you need directions to somewhere, or you're just a stranger in a new place looking for a good time. You can approach pretty much anybody. And not only will they be friendly, but they'll make sure that you're safe and they'll be sure you have a great time. So my
Nice.
suggestion is don't have a tight agenda. Don't have a tight agenda in any city, and maybe have a few ideas of what you want to do, but let yourself be whisked away by a Brit. Not in that way. Obviously, stay safe. There are a few nutters out there, but for the most part, you make friends with a Brit, you have a friend for life, and your day is going to be awesome. Lastly, number 10.
I this is one I can appreciate from him as well because you tend to hear Brits aren't friendly. In majority of the videos that I've watched, you hear Brits aren't friendly. Just a few. I can pinpoint two that say they are friendly, but majority said they aren't friendly. So I am happy that he said, look, you can have a ball. If you're lost, they will help you. If you're out drinking, you can talk. You can talk to them. They're not stuck up. They are friendly, and you'll have a ball being around Brit. And everywhere you go, you'll find some crazy people. There's no going around that. But be safe. And he said, if you found a Brit, you found a friend, it's a friend for a lifetime. That was so sweet when he said it. Moving on to number 10.
it is impossible to see all of the UK in
True.
one trip. Obviously, you can't explore any country or any state in 16 days, and
True.
there's no way for me to make my 67% British audience 100% happy. But at the same time, don't try to do it all in one trip. I'm heartbroken that I had to leave off places like York, Brighton, Cornwall, Leeds, Edinburgh, and Wrexham, but that just means I have to come back. And
What?
considering the other 9 things on the list, I'm looking forward to doing that in 2025. Also, a bonus one. This is for the British audience of the specific time. I wish I would have known that Taylor Swift was coming. Kind of
Oh.
put a damper on a couple of the places I went. Not too much, but still, if y'all can't let me live down the whole Jimmy Savile thing, then I'm not gonna let y'all live down the whole Taylor Swift thing. Y'all know I love y'all, and I can't wait to be back soon. In the comments below, let me know, what did I miss? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Also, consider subscribing and watching another video. Thank y'all channel members for your
That was amazing. I really did enjoy his video. Yes, guys, like I said, it is not easy. He's right. Number 10, you cannot go to somewhere or travel to a place for 16 days and expect to see the whole country. It does not work like that. He is so right on number 10. There's no way that you're going to go to a country and you can cover everywhere in 16 days. That's not possible. But I'm happy that he went. He had fun. He experienced it. He can come back and say, listen, I can't wait to be back. And I know that's exactly how I'm going to feel whenever time I get to the UK. And I love his video. I love how he explained everything. And I love that he enjoyed every minute of it. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, please don't forget to go over and show him some love. Yes. Guys, don't forget to go over and show him some love. Like I said, the link will be in the description below. But before you run over, don't forget to give this one a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. It's the Island Girl, and I'm running out of here. Be good, be kind, be safe, love each other. Guys, I can't wait to visit. I can't wait to have my experience in the UK. Love you guys, and I'll definitely catch you guys in another video. Don't forget to let me know in the comment section what you'd like me to check out next. Your girl got you. Bye.